I've used this example several times throughout this process of writing this novel. And just to refresh your memory, this is the story of Charlie Patterson. He is a very talented rodeo clown. In those days, the bullfighters, the young men who came out in fun clown costumes, would go into the ring with the bull riders at the rodeo and distract the bulls when the rider fell off, so that the bull did not then turn and gouge the rider. Sometimes the bull would gouge the rodeo clowns, but their job was to be very skilled and to distract the bull in very colorful and dramatic ways. Charlie was very talented at this, and the secondary character in this novel is Brenda, the long-suffering girlfriend who he would never really call his girlfriend, but she tagged along behind him, and he just always had her in his corner, and he never cheated on her or things like that, but there was never any relationship discussion between the two of them. Charlie's flaw is that he gets distracted by pretty girls. He is in the ring with a bull and distracting the bull from the rodeo rider, and he sees a flash of light. He sees a cheerleader. He sees a girl in the stands. He sees a pair of fancy cowboy boots, and he gets distracted. And the one thing you cannot do in the ring with a bull is get distracted. So that's his flaw. I've decided I'm going to start chapter 1, and I'm working on the outline for chapter 1 in the way that I do outlines. And I've come to this point where we are looking, Brenda, now 50 years old, has come back to the gravesite of her father, and at Burke Burnett Cemetery. Now, y'all, I have not been to Burke Burnett Cemetery since I was 7 years old. And I picked it because of the desolate nature of that cemetery. And so I need some information about what the cemetery looked like in 1968, what it looks like in 2009. Pay no attention to the rest of this. This is just how I do things. So we're focused on this. So I want to go over to my writing assistant and get some help with this. This is my writing assistant, Mr. GPT. I do not want to use this AI app to replace me. Nobody's going to replace my style, my thoughts about this character, the world that I have created that I am in control of. But I do want to use this feature to help me find words and phrases and locate some information to help enhance my writing. So as you can see, I asked it the question of this. It's given me some information. It showed me where the locations are, so I can add these to my EasyBib project by clicking on the link and adding that article that ChatGPT found. I'm going to look and see if there's some words and phrases in here that I can use in my narrative. I don't need the address. Nobody cares about the address. But the decades, tombstone inscriptions from as early as mid-20th century. Maybe I will write that we come upon a grave that was from that time period or something. I don't know. But this is something I can use for that. Now I want to show you how to use ChatGPT for another writing feature. The description of characters. And I have written my female lead is Brenda. She's plain girl. It doesn't care if I misspell words, by the way. With pigtails, reddish hair, and freckles. I need some words and phrases to describe her as a 13-year-old girl and then in her 20s and then in her 30s. She's small and a tomboy, but becomes a pretty lady. So ChatGPT has come up with some words and phrases that I can use with my own style of writing that give me words. Remember, in narrative writing, words are your paintbrush. For our purposes, we have the benefit of being able to embed photos and images into our stories, but it doesn't substitute for great words that help the reader see vividly what the character looked like. So this is what ChatGPT came up with this. I can ask it more questions. I can ask it to give me more ideas on ways to describe something that she's wearing or whatever. But you can see it's given me these ideas, and I can use some of those. I do not need to cite ChatGPT, but if it's factual, I need to cite any quoted material from them. For example, so they found some things here, and I want to make sure I click on that and add that to my works cited. Now, when you write your story and you submit it to a magazine, you won't need any of this stuff. But for our purposes, for this course, we want to document and show where we got our information. But again, you know, the pride with me, the readers are my audience, and I don't want my words substituted with, you know, an app. It's not very clever, but it does come up with some good things. Now, the last thing I did is, situation happened in Kansas City. Charlie is at the last of the rodeo finals, and if they win here, they get to go to the world finals, and that's the goal. Is things go down at the world finals, which happen in New York City, and that's where Charlie really loses focus, and it causes him to lose his best friend. I mean, it's a tragic moment. But prior to that, they had to go to Kansas City, and they have to win in Kansas City. I haven't been to Kansas City in years, and I certainly wasn't in Kansas City in 1975. So I asked ChatGPT what are some things they might have done in Kansas City in 1975, because he and Brenda need to go somewhere, because this is the moment where she shares her heart with him, and she tells him that she has loved him all her life. And he says, well, I'm real sorry to hear that. You know, I don't want to be tied down. I'm busy. I'm talented and all this stuff. So, of course, when the horrible thing happens in New York City and his friend is killed because he loses focus, then, of course, who's going to be there, you know, by his side? Brenda, of course. And that's when, you know, it's a beautiful love story. The ending of it's gorgeous. But right now we're in Kansas City, and I don't know what to have these people do. So these are some suggestions. If I let's say I want to send them here to the amusement park, and you know, they can have some dialogue in the amusement park. I can always ask ChatGPT to give me more information about this. Worlds of fun. And I want to make sure I always ask ChatGPT in factual situations, where did you find that information? So I can add it to my works cited. But this I might do. I like this river thing. That could be fun. The edge of hell haunted house. That could be fun. You see how I use ChatGPT to give me some ideas and some locations and some things that I can have them do? And it always asks me, do you want me to give you some more information? Yes, I do. I want some more information. And it also shows me its sources where it got information. Now, in narrative writing, we can use Wikipedia, because there's nothing in narrative writing, unless we're writing a historic fiction. You know that would be different. Then we'd want to not use, we'd have to have real facts and everything. But we can get some ideas from there. It's okay to add that. But I want to make sure that these sources that ChatGPT used, I add to my works cited. But this is a fun way to get it to help me to find locations, to help me describe characters. Just to show you this in real time, which I think is fun, I just asked ChatGPT to give me 25 ways to describe a stationary rodeo in a small, dusty West Texas town in 1967. Sometimes, you all, I think if I have to describe sagebrush one more time, I don't know what I'm going to do. I am so tired of describing dust and bales of hay and other things that you would find in the prairies of West Texas. And ChatGPT can give me some fresh ideas. It can give me some phrases. So I just asked it, what a stationary rodeo, instead of a traveling rodeo. This is one that's there. They have the rodeo every weekend. What does that look like? And here are some ideas that it gave me. And I can pick some of these words and phrases. I like similes and metaphors, like a lazy buzz, and smells. It gives me all kinds of sensory ideas. And I can ask me if you'd like a vision with more metaphor, or more from like a teenage observer, a weary cowboy, or Brenda. ChatGPT is my best friend. It is a wonderful resource. It is not a substitute for me, but it enhances what I'm doing so much. And that way, when I go back over to my story and I write my story, my novel, my short story, whatever I'm doing, I can see that it is my own style, my own voice. Now, this is all in single space, but in order to make it for our purposes, for our story, we would want to make it 1.5 space. So that's what it would look like if I had it 1.5 space. But this is all in my own words. It's my own dialogue. I can have it help me with dialogue too, though. It's not very good with dialogue, but it can give you some ideas. And I can use this information and work it into my story and have some fun and have vocabulary. My vocabulary has become so much better since I started using this, because I want to find new words, new phrases, new ways of saying what I want to say. And this is what I can do as I use that to enhance my writing, not to replace it, but to give me some ideas and thoughts and places where people can go, scenes that I can set up. You see that? You can just have the best time in the world. And then you can see all the words that you misspelled. And see how fun that is? Anyway, I hope this helps, and I hope you have a really good time using AI to enhance your writing and have some fun with this.